Hello and welcome to The Court Jester, the podcast that takes you on a wild ride through the most scandalous stories of the Middle Ages. I am Cleopatra, medievalist, storyteller, and your host. Today's story is very much standard fabliau material, the one we know and love, and before we dive into it, the usual warning applies. It was written several centuries ago, when the world was a different place and people laughed with all kinds of things. So today, expect your standard fabliau vulgarity, adult themes, adult activities, and a lot of slapstick. It's perfectly fine if this is not your cup of tea. I get it, and you're probably wiser than me. But if you are curious and can enjoy the past without endorsing it, then sit tight. We are about to meet a genuinely clever wife. Say, how would you like to hear a townswoman's courtly affair? She was born and bred in Orléans, while her husband was from Amiens. He was a wealthy merchant of high standing, very well versed in the ways of retail and money lending, and, as is usually the case, he was very, very much of a penny pincher. 4 lay brothers from Normandy, all students, had arrived in town, wearing their duffels slung around their necks, with all their books and all their clothes, large and well fed from head to toe. They sang and partied throughout town, and they were all well loved and widely known in the street where they lived. One of them in particular, who used to sing for the townsfolk, seemed prettier than anything in the eyes of the merchant's wife, who loved the way he led his life and loved hearing him talk about it. She hung upon his every word. So often did he come to see her that the husband got suspicious. A niece was living with them in their home, and he had brought her up as his own daughter. He called her in confidence and promised her some reward if she would spy upon the young man for him and tell him all the truth. The girl said yes, and in the meantime the young man diligently tried and finally broke down the wife's resistance. Meanwhile, the girl spied with insistence and heard all that was said, so she ran to her uncle and told him what they planned. His wife would wait until he leaves, and then she'll send word to the lover, who will hurry down straight to an iron-studded door she had described to him that led into their garden plot. The woman promised she would wait and meet him there inside the gate. Well, the man was not pleased at all, but didn't want to wait either, so as soon as he could, he went to his wife and said, "The time has come, my dear, for me to go away on business. See to the house like a good mistress, and while I'm away, do all that needs done. I do not know when I'll be back." "I will," replies the lady. He has his carriageman get ready and says he'll find a place to sleep to get a head start on his trip, so he has to leave immediately. Unsuspected, the wife rejoiced and sent for her young man and told him to come quickly. The man, who thought that he would trick his wife, set out without delay, found for his men a place to stay quite nearby at a hostelry, and explained to them that he will go on ahead by himself to consult with a man of wealth. That is the medieval way to say to someone that you had a very important meeting. They didn't question him, and he retraced his steps back home. Till evening he just sat tight, and when he saw that it was night, in the half-light of fading day, up to the yard he made his way. He knew the iron-studded gate that was the meeting point, and he went straight on up to it and gave it a rap. She, unaware it was a trap, opened it wide, and hugging him drew him inside, because she thought it was her lover. She welcomed him and greeted him with a tender word. "Your coming, love, makes me rejoice," she said. He kept from speaking in full voice, and when he answered, murmured low. They quickly went through a small hallway in the house. Straight on, the lady leads her spouse towards her chamber, but he's being a bit too quiet, and she can see no reason why he should keep quiet while he had made such a show of passion earlier. So she gets suspicious and keeps her head bent forward, but turns it ever so slightly toward him to see underneath his hood. And what do you know? She sees her husband, and she knows she's being tricked, and she wants to pay him back in kind. A woman's mind is very quick. They've played many man a trick, and so will she. My love, she says, how sweet it is to hold you and to know that you're mine. From what I own, I'll give you fine gifts for you to keep for your own if you'll tell no one what we've done. Now come with me in secrecy. I'll put you under lock and key in a safe room, built all out of stone, where you will wait for me, because I need to make sure all the servants are fed, and after they've gone to bed, I'll come and meet you and bed you down beneath the covers. No one shall ever know. Lady, whatever you have said is good, he said. So she locks him up, and to the garden she returns, and finds the man for whom she yearns, gives him a kiss, a hug, a squeeze, and when they had gone through the garden, they went right to her room, ready for the night together. She, acting as a guide, ushered her paramour inside, and got him underneath the quilt, and right away he went to get busy with a tournament of love. When their delight was satisfied and hugs and kisses were abated, she said, Now, dear, I'm going to have to ask you to wait for me here. I have to go and let the servants have their dinner. The lady goes her merry way and joins her household in the hall. To make them glad, she gives her all. When the food was set on the table, they ate and drank all they were able, and when they've all eaten their fill, and all were at the table still, the lady called a household session, addressing with taste and discretion 2 nephews whom her husband hired. A Breton man, sound as a bell, who carried water from the well, 3 chambermaids to clean the house, the niece who had spied for her spouse, 2 hired hands, and a renegade. God save me, good people, she said. Now listen well and hear me out. You've seen around the house, no doubt, a student who comes frequently and simply will not let me be. He pesters me to sleep with him, and I have never given in, but from what I've seen he will not relent. So I had to go along with his intent tonight, and said that he could have his way when my husband had gone away. Now that he's gone, may he fare well. That low-life student who harasses me is here and wants to push me into doing something crass. He forced his way into the house tonight, and now I have him locked up upstairs where the stone wall room is, and I want you all to avenge me. Let him meet his doom, and I'll let you drink several kegs of our best wine down to the dregs. Go upstairs, in the upstairs room. I've locked him up. Bring sticks. I want him knocked about. I want him flat on the floor. Don't stop the blows or cease to beat, so that while he yet lives on this earth, he will never pursue another woman of worth. When the household heard what's expected of them, they jumped up as directed. One grabs a stick, one takes a cudgel, this one a pestle, that one a shovel. The key she gives them, off they go. I say the man who'd keep a tally of every blow must be some raconteur. They didn't even let him get through the door. They cornered him inside the room. You corrupt cleric, meet your doom. We'll cane you like a lazy scholar. One grabs his throat around the collar so tightly he can't make a sound. They shove and push the man around, hiding his face beneath his hood. They really give it to him good. They wouldn't miss a chance to thrash him for 100 marks in cash. They rained down blows upon him, the 2 nephews with ferocity that displayed their animosity, and beat their uncle high and low. And all the while she yelled, Now go! Go, go, go! Pummel him soundly, lay him flat. This time make sure this particular specific lay brother, this particular scholar, this uncouth student, who pleaded that I be imprudent, will never dare give provocation or ruin another woman's reputation. But do not kill him. No, no, when you're done, let him be tossed into the street, so he will learn we mean him never to return. The merchant suffers the attack, hears his wife say she's getting back at him for his unasked flirtation, and feels some little consolation. He doesn't dare raise an objection, and just submits. When all the household had their fill on beating him, the lady spoke and cried out, That's enough. I do not want you to kill the duffer, for if he dies, we all may suffer. And so they quickly grab a hold of him and drag him like a dog. They flung him out into a pile of dung, and they retired. and tightly bolted up the doors. Then they drank deeply from the stores of white wines and the wines from Auxerre, just like the king. The lady got pasties and wine, and a white napkin made of fine linen, and a tall beeswax taper, and went for another round with her beloved while the household lay asleep in drunken disarray. The merchant, lying in the dung, dragged himself on, and soon rejoined his baggage train. When his men saw him bruised and frayed, they were enormously afraid and asked him about his condition. "I narrowly escaped perdition," he replied, "and I feel half dead, but that is all that can be said about this. There in my wagon lay me up, and carry me back tomorrow, just as soon as dawn has happened, and do not ask me anything about this ever again." They stayed the night, and when day broke, they packed their gear and headed away. The merchant's wife hated to see her love depart, but once she seen the light of the sky, she saw him out and said goodbye, requesting that he come again whenever she may send for him. "With pleasure," he replied, and she went back directly to her room and got in bed. Back comes her husband on a stretcher, and despite his pain, he is relieved to know his wife is so devoted to him that she cannot be doubted, and he thinks if he can recover, he'll always cherish her and love her. She bathed his wounds with healing plants and cured the fruits of his mischance. "What happened?" she asked. He told her, "Well, I had to take a narrow passage full of danger, and my bones were broken by bandits." The servants in the house related how they had caught and castigated a certain student whom their mistress punished. For sure, her honor is as untarnished as any noblewoman of the court. Never did a suspicious thought cross his mind again so long as he lived. That's how the good woman deceived her husband, who thought he could trick her. Well, in the end, he brewed himself in his own liquor, didn't he? God save us all from crafty women from Orléans. And if you enjoyed the story and would like some more, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and leave a review for the Court Jester wherever you get your podcasts, and tell everyone you know about how great a time you're having here. Lastly, if you would like to support the Court Jester and help me get a sense of achievement, head over to Patreon. For as little as £1, you will get access to bonus episodes, extra material, and the warm and fuzzy feeling of being a part of this nonsense. Links to everything and to my sources are below. Thank you all for listening. Until next time.